Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.
The one that I finished on the podium.
What were the conditions better today than yesterday? Or?
I don't think it changed too much. It definitely didn't change the racing at all, I don't believe.
Okay.
Bruce Martin. Bruce on the side, there you go.
Colton, the fact that you're finishing the season pretty good on a strong note, how important is that to you?
Yeah, I mean, you want to do good the whole time, so you know, it's nice when you can finish strong and have good results. You just got to keep it going. Obviously, we're out of the championship hunt now, but if we could get away in another podium in Nashville, it would be really good for myself and for all the guys going into the off season.
And also with the race being near your hometown at least.
Yes.
Does that help any? Or are you still just going to be staying out of the bus out in Lebanon?
No, yeah, I was thinking about it. I'm going to stay in the bus just because I think it'd be weird. I've never in my life stayed at my house before a race, and I don't know. It could have no effect, but I don't want to find out.
Or you could get stuck in traffic.
You could do that too.
Any other questions for Colton before we cut him loose? Jenna?
Still on the Nashville theme, I talked to Scott Borchetta today, and he said you've been a really big supporter of the event. You've been doing things in the community. What does it feel like? It's not downtown, which people really like, but do you feel like people are aware that there's a race and are excited for it?
I hope so. A lot of talk about billboards. There were billboards. There have been billboards the last few months. Yes, there are billboards.
Paddle might even be on one.
No, I haven't seen one, so maybe that's just the few in Mexico. But it was. I think they've done they do a really good job at promoting. They do a really good job at pulling money together and putting it in the right areas. They're committed to open wheel racing and IndyCar as a whole. You know, I think that's kind of what they grew up on. They grew up going to the Indianapolis 500, and they love IndyCar racing. So all the drivers have known them for a long time. They've been around the paddock for a long time. I've known them through my dad for a long time. So I love what they're doing. You know, it's hard to say I wasn't a little upset at losing the downtown race because it was really fun, and more importantly, our cars were really good there. But this is a new challenge. It's exciting. You know, I'm not sure how it's going to race. I hope it races well. But yeah, as far as promotion, I'm not too worried about that, but we'll just have to see if people are interested in driving out there to a racetrack.
Any other follow-ups for Colton? All right, we'll see you in Nashville or Lebanon in a couple of weeks. Thanks, Colton. Another podium finish for Colton. Turn our attention to second place finishing driver in Scott Dixon, driver number 9, PNC Bank, Chip Ganassi Racing Honda. First runner-up finish of the season, 5th podium of 2024, 142nd podium of his career, breaks the tie for most all-time with Mario Andretti, 211 top 5, which of course extends his record for most all-time as well. That was a heck of a race. What was it like from your perspective?
Yeah, it was. You know, I think on many fronts, you know, I hope, you know, the fans enjoyed it. It was pretty wild. I think there was never a lap that, you know, you were kind of relaxing. It was just flat out the whole time. And especially the strategy shift, I think at the end with Colton, obviously we got a bit of a reset with that last caution. But what a wild day, you know, with, you know, Alex's issue, then Power, you know, having his issue. It was, you know, definitely made for TV. So, yeah, for us it was a bit up and down throughout. You know, we made, I think we changed everything but the kitchen sink last night after yesterday's car, and it was definitely very positive. So it was nice to have a good car today, and obviously moved up when we needed to, and you know, had a good restart on that last one there. So congrats to McLaughlin. I know it's not the first time of a Kiwi one too, but it's always a lot of fun to have another New Zealander up there.
For sure. All right, open up for questions for Scott Dixon. Pat, go ahead. Jenny, you've got the
Sorry.
mic.
I wanted to stay on that Nashville theme. I actually 2 questions. The first one's on Nashville. Colton said he doesn't know how it's going to race. You probably do. Are you going to win a 4th straight?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Yeah.
It's done?
Yeah. It's good. Trophy now.
Yeah, all right, cool. So, are you excited to go there, to go back there?
I am, you know, and you can't thank, I think, Scott Borchetta enough. You know, I think the amount of effort that he's cleaned up for one, and then, you know, obviously got handed not a great situation. So, I know they've been promoting the heck out of it. He's a hell of a person and huge partner for our sport. So, I think all of us want this to go extremely well. Whether it's just a couple of years or whether it's going to become the primary situation, we have to wait and see. Everybody loves the national down street race. The race itself was interesting, I thought, and would have been a great spot for a last championship race just because of the unknowns. But and the atmosphere is what we need for the sport. So Nashville, finishing on an oval, I think is always good. I think the highs and lows, as we saw today, can come pretty quick and pretty heavy. So. I just hope it's well attended and we can keep building on it, and I'm looking forward to it.
And then today related, I'm assuming you don't know what was wrong with the 10?
No, I actually asked twice because I was, kind of trying to make sure we were doing the same thing and making sure there wasn't the same problem that I had at Ohio.
And it was not?
Oh, I don't know. They just said we've asked for information and we haven't got any.
They said on the broadcast that the battery needed to be replaced. 12 volt.
Oh, okay. Yeah, but the DC to DC on a hybrid could kill that as well. So it's there's a lot more parts now. So it could be any kind of issue. Ours was similar to that. The hybrid can get into a funny kind of mode, which will just kill the car, which is kind of the last thing it should do because it's the only thing that can charge the actual battery is that. But it could be something totally different. I think they've worked a lot of the kinks out for my problem. Just sad to see. I think Alex would have had a great race. I think he probably would have had it sewn up. But Powell made it pretty exciting too then.
What is that like as a driver to just be in a disabled car and watching your championship points slip by as nobody can figure out what's going on?
Yeah, it's frustrating. I think when it's introduced, something out of your control, it's always tough. And kudos to IndyCar and everybody that had done so much testing, because I think there would have been a whole lot of other things that could have been a problem. Whether it was that or not, I'm not sure. But it sucks. I had a Ohio, it's even same situation where I think he at least did one parade lap or two parade laps. I'm not sure. So he might have done one. But in that situation, watching with maybe 2 races to go, how quickly it could change. Luckily the other car had no shoes on.
Let's go Patrick, the Marshall, the Bruce. Go Pat.
Let me start by asking to sort of follow up on that. You're in the car asking about his, but are you following the championship thing as you're trying to run your own race? Are you kind of
when I saw that, I was, you're feeling for the team because you know how hard every single person works on it, and what could have been sewn up. Very few times, I think, well, Alex had it last year, but very few times do you get to go to the last race and it's all over. Which would make the feeling pretty nice for the whole team. So, you feel for Alex, but you also feel for the whole crew, not just the 10, but all the cars that work extremely hard, together. And then, I didn't even know what had happened on that caution, but with the big screens around here, you kind of see, and it was focused on the 12. So I don't know how it happened or what was broken on the car, but
and then just a racing question about, you said you had to throw the kitchen sink at it. You weren't that far off yesterday, or were you that bad to have to make a bunch of changes to get it a little bit better?
Yeah, it was more the drivability. The car wasn't really nice to drive. I think from a race to race, you'd maybe do, well, I don't think you'd even do the amount of setup changes we did at a test, not all at once. Yesterday, had we stayed out a half lap later, I think we would have restarted third. So, it's just how you catch those cautions. I think Daly was 2 or 3 spots behind me at that point. So it can flip like that. But, that's how it rolls throughout the season, and some work for you and some don't. But yeah, it was more of a, yesterday it was full on. It was, that was a long 250 laps.
Today was a short one.
Yeah, it was a little easier, that's for sure.
Marshall.
Dix, you've done a lot of Milwaukee's. Give us your thoughts. Doubleheader here, coming back after a long time. I think a pretty decent crowd. Give me some thoughts on what it was like coming back and what you saw over a couple days.
Yeah, I think I love a challenge, and this weekend was a challenge on many fronts. Just, qualifying was a mess, practice, it was just full of highs and lows, but I think that kind of sums up Milwaukee. That's what you have in the race. You kind of have these peaks and everything's going well, and then, you might run on top of somebody or get high, and then, they all stream by, and you're kind of in the crap again. So it's fun. I love it just because it is so difficult. Honestly, the crowds were a lot better than I thought they were going to be coming back, especially for a doubleheader. It's hard to do that. So I think next year, obviously for a one-day event, will be fantastic. And it's always hard when it's a new date and you're coming back for a time. So congratulations to IndyCar and everybody that made what the two-day event was. Doubleheaders are hard to pull off.
Bruce?
You ran the fastest laps of the race as you were trying to reel in Scott there toward the end. But at what point did you realize he's just a little too far for me to catch?
Yeah, I need to look. I think I ran faster than I did in qualifying. Yeah. God. Maybe, I need to get around the other way. I think if we'd had maybe another 10 to 20 laps, it might have been slightly different. But, it is what it is. So he drove a fantastic race. There was kind of the one stint where he got me, and then the 14, and also maybe one other that kind of got in front. I think it was, the 7 was already hit, but just got into a traffic sequence where I couldn't really run on the bottom. I couldn't understand why everybody else could, and as soon as I did, I would just have loads of understeer and couldn't get it together. So he did a hell of a job, and to take the lead, obviously for that last restart, put you in a great position. Had there been another restart, could have been maybe a little bit different.
And also the podium record. Scott Dixon had claimed yet another IndyCar record.
Yeah, it's cool. Obviously, Mario, I'm a massive fan of Mario, and he's a huge part of our series, and it's again, I keep saying it, but it's so cool that him and AJ and many others, whether it's Rick, come to a lot of our races. So it's obviously Mario raced in a lot of different categories as well, and achieves many great things. But just to be mentioned with any of those guys is very special.
Got time for a couple more, Nate, and we'll go to the fourth row back there. Go ahead, Nate.
The final restart obviously was great for you. I think you got around Rossi and then Herta. Can you just walk us through that? And Colton was saying that you guys actually had touched. And it was a really fierce battle through the corners. I mean, is he a guy, it seems like you guys can trust each other maybe more than you would other drivers?
Yeah, I think we've had, we don't have battles all the time, but when we have had, it's it's been fair. Some guys you obviously know that it's probably not going to go that way. There was definitely some extremely aggressive moves out there, and if you didn't get out of the way, you were going to be in the fence today. And it was definitely probably just 2 or 3 cars, but it's what people want to see too. But I think longevity-wise, it's only going to work for so long. But it's always been good for me and Herta. So yeah, a lot of respect there and no issues.
Time for one more. Go ahead.
Hey Scott, Andrew Wagner, Forbes Sports. You kind of touched on it earlier. I think everyone was kind of surprised with the strong turnout, but having done a number of races here, did you notice anything that might be different compared to years past that gives you reason to think this is going to be a successful event moving forward?
Yeah, the only time I got to see the infield was doing the autograph session. The activation was great in that. I think previous years we've gone back there and all the whether it's food stalls or bars have been closed. So to have that, the bands and local entertainment, I think is huge. I think the hard fill for most ovals, right, is unless Indy Next is here, what race is on the track, and that's the hard part. Whether it was Texas in the past, you want people to come here and be entertained, not just for our race, which is obviously the marquee point, but you've got to fill a lot of time as well. So I know that's always been a discussion that I've had in off-season chats just about how you do that, and I know that I think changed a lot of things, especially on that side of the grandstands for this year.
Okay, we've got time for one more, Jenna.
Just one last one. When the field finally went green, and Joseph was involved in that accident, the LED light was green, but the flagman was waving a yellow flag. What did you see? When so the race didn't go green at first, as you recall. Went green at lap 6.
Yeah.
Joseph didn't go. thought it had been called off. Flagman is clearly waving a yellow flag, but the green lights are on. Stack up behind it.
Yeah, I'm not sure that's accurate, actually. We've got some
We have
video.
photos.
We have video.
Okay,
So
bring it.
we'll
Bring it.
be sure to. Unless you saw something from the
Did you
cockpit.
guys see something different?
I don't know, somebody messed it up. I don't know.
That's
I think I can't recall that.
Okay.
Joseph definitely went.
Okay.
That's what I think. I was beside him.
What did he say? He said somebody didn't get the message that it had been waved off.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
It's just a painful stop, you know, it's typical.
Hey, I was right, lady.
I'm joking.
It's that new Joseph Newgarden restart zone.
Thanks, Scott. Congratulations. All right, Scott McLaughlin.
Say that shit.
Scott McLaughlin led.
Steven Stump of Frontstretch.com here. Come back for more great racing videos, and if you like us, don't forget to hit that subscribe button.